Hello students, welcome to today's class. My name is David, and in today's special video we want to take the part 2 of our agricultural questions. So these are likely questions that you should encounter in your GCE exams, and not just the GCE exams actually. You will encounter these questions in WAEC, NECO. These are all O-level questions based on trends, based on the syllabus, and based on repetitive questions from the past 10 to 15 years. So make sure you understand the concept, as the examiner might even change the pattern sometimes. But once you understand the concept of this question, whichever way the question comes, I'm sure you'll be able to handle it. Yeah. Now let's get into this. Now let's start question 1. A piece of land is said to be on lease to a farmer when the land is dashed. Okay. Now if a property or a piece of land is on lease, what does it mean to a farmer? A, it says inherited from the father. No. Given to him as a gift? Definitely not. Given as compensation? No. Purchased on credit? No. Given for a specific period on rental basis? Yes, that's exactly what it is. Lease means it was given to the farmer for a period of time on rental basis. So an amount was paid for a period of time. Question 2. The problems associated with land tenure through inheritance include the following, except. So it's basically saying this, from these 5 options, only one is not associated with land tenure through inheritance. Okay, or only one of these is not a problem of land tenure through inheritance. What does land tenure through inheritance simply mean? Is farming on or making agricultural activity on a land that was issued based on inheritance or issued from inheritance. For example, I inherited the land from my father, and then it's a family land, okay, and then I'm giving you a portion of the land to farm on, right? Does that make sense? Okay, so A, small land holding for family members. No, this is not a problem. Hatred among family members arising from land sharing. This is a characteristic actually. Small land holding for family members is correct, because by the time they divide the portion of the land among all family members, it usually is not so much, especially if you want to venture into mechanized kind of farming. Then hatred among family members arise from land sharing. It's true, as you would often see in Nollywood movies, where brothers and sisters begin to fight on portions of the land. Then right of individuals to free use and control of inherited land. This is not part of the options, right? Because you cannot control an inherited land. It's not possible, right? So individuals being restricted to their plots. This is true. This is a feature of land gotten through inheritance. You are restricted to your plot. You cannot sell part of the inherited land. True. So the only one that is called the option is you don't have the right of free use to use it for any purpose. You can only use it for the duration of the time that it was given to you, okay, or that I, in the case of the analogy I make, that I give to you, and for the purpose that I told you you could use it for. Is that clear? Remember that you can always ask questions on any question you don't understand. You can always get more insights or ask for comments using the comment box, and I'm happy to take them. Question 3. A distribution of the different sizes of soil particles. Something is wrong. Question 3. Pause. Question 3 now. Soil texture is described as, what is soil texture? A, distribution of the different sizes of soil particles. B, arrangement of soil particles in the soil sample. C, rate at which water moves through the soil. D, degree to which air spaces aerate the soil. E, distribution of soil particles in a sample. Yes. So E is the correct option. Soil texture is simply the amount of humus, clay, particles, decays in the soil. All right, that's what makes up the soil texture. The amount of humus, the amount of clay, the soil particles, the molecular and biological particles in the soil. It's all these things that come together to determine a soil texture. And then question 4. The alternate heating and cooling of rocks results in what? That means cooling, then heating, then cooling, then heating. Like during the night season, the rocks are cooling, right? Because there's no sun. In the daytime, the rocks are heated because of scorching sun. What does it do to the rocks? We discussed this in video 1, our first class. Remember, this is part 2 of the class. And if you have not taken that part 1, you might not understand some of the concepts we are taking now because we've done a deep insight into rock weathering. So you want to go watch it. I'll attach it to this video. You can also check the channel to find that video out and watch maximally as you prepare yourself for your exam. So, but then the alternate cooling and heating of rocks results to rock weathering, which is the breaking down of rocks. So it will result in the what? In the fragmentation, because the rocks will crack after a while. Heating, cooling, results in rock cracking, which is also known as rock weathering. Question 5. Which of the following factors influence agricultural production? Okay, which of the following factors influencing, this should be influencing, agricultural production is biotic factor. Okay, biotic will also mean biological factor. So which of these factors that influences agricultural production is biological factor? All right, so you have parasites, soil pH, topology, soil texture, and temperature. Biological just simply means living. Biotic here simply means living. So if you look at all this now, parasites, soil pH, topology, soil texture, and temperature. Only parasite is a living thing, is biotic. All these other things, of course, will affect agricultural production, but they are not living. They are not living things. They are soil pH, topography, soil texture, and temperature are not. They are non-biotic factors that can affect agricultural production. Now, if you've watched up until video question 5, it does mean that you're enjoying the video. If you're enjoying the video, why not smash the like button of the video? It does suggest to YouTube that the video is good enough so that YouTube can push it to a wider audience of people. And this is your own simple way to say thank you for the effort you put into making this production possible for you. Question 6 now. Granite is a what? Granite is a what? Many of you already know this, so I'll just go straight to it. Granite is an igneous rock, but granite is also a plutonic rock. Plutonic rocks are sub-rocks in igneous rocks. So I would preferably go to plutonic rocks because plutonic rocks narrows down the type of rock that granite is. Or granite is an igneous rock, is also a plutonic rock, but precisely I'll go with plutonic rock if you have this option. If you do not have option E, then definitely you should go for option D. Question 7. Question 7 now. In which layer of the soil profile does most biological activity occur? Most biological activity will occur in the top layer, the top soil. Okay. Oh, we don't have the top soil layer. So we have repetitive options. Something is wrong. All right. But just know at the back of your mind that it's the top soil. Okay. Or the A category of the soil. You know the soil is always in layers. So the top soil. All right. Let's go to question 8 now. When leaves of crop plant shows brownish coloration from the tip of the mid ribs backward, they are showing deficiency symptom of what? Okay, in deficiency in living plants, any plant that is showing brownish or purplish discoloration or coloration, as a matter of fact, such a plant or such a crop is suffering from phosphorus deficiency. Okay, so just know that back of your mind. Phosphorus deficiency, brownish or purplish. What if it's yellowish? The crop is suffering from nitrogen. All right, so don't forget these things. Yeah. What about magnesium? Okay, tell me in the comment section. Question 9. Which of the following farm practices can prevent excessive evaporation from soil surface? Yeah, you know there is always evaporation from the soil surface. So, which of these things can you put into place to prevent excessive evaporation of moisture, okay, from the soil surface? You have liming, mulching, welding, harrowing, and plowing. Okay, this does open up your soil more. In fact, this aids evaporation. So mulching prevents the excessive evaporation from the top layer of the soil. Then next question now, question 10. Which of the following is not associated with surface irrigation? So which of these does not work with surface irrigation? You have natural flooding, check flooding, sprinkler irrigation, mold drain, and tiles. All right, so sprinkler irrigation is that irrigation that is always overboard. Okay, sprinkles, all right, and wet the surface of the soil. You have natural flooding, you have check flooding, you have mold drains, you have tiles. Which of the following is not associated with surface irrigation? That's sprinkler irrigation. Sprinkler irrigation is often called overhead irrigation. Overhead irrigation because it's often hanging above. It might be in the form of like a pole that will now have sprinklers. And you must have seen it a lot, especially in large farms. So connected to a source of water. Once that source of water is turned on, the sprinklers begin to sprinkle water to the area, to a specific area. Do you understand? So only this one is not associated with surface kind of irrigation. Question 11. Which of the following types of soil contain particles of diameter between 0.2 mm and 2.0 mm? This is a simple one. That is the sandy soil. All these are soil, but this is the diameter of most sandy soil, 0.2 and 2.0 mm. Right. Are you enjoying this video? If you are enjoying this video, please state in the comment section, I am enjoying the video. Now, question 12. A farmer cultivating leafy vegetables will require fertilizer with a relatively high content of what? What is leafy? A farmer that is cultivating vegetables that produces a lot of leaves, that needs to produce a lot of leaves. Which of these elements is it going to require more in his fertilizer? You have calcium, magnesium, potassium, nitrogen, and phosphorus. It's going to require a lot of nitrogen. Nitrogen is the reason why your leaves are green, because there is a lot of nitrogen. So nitrogen just helps the leaves to get green. You know, remember I told you previously that the deficiency of nitrogen in a leaf will cause the leaf to be yellowish, right? So a farmer who is producing a lot of vegetables, you don't want your leaf to be yellowish. People won't buy it, so they will buy it at very weak price or poor price. So you want to make sure that the nitrogen level is high, right? So that your leaves are green and fresh. Question 13. The earthworm is important to the farmer because it what? What's the importance of the earthworm? There are several importance of the earthworm. The earthworm burrows through the soil, so it loosens the soil. It helps the soil porosity. It helps the soil to be able to receive more water and to, receive air. So let's see. It improves soil structure. It improves soil texture. It destroys soil pathogens. It adds nutrients to the soil. It prevents soil erosion. Yes, it does this. It improves soil structure. It also does this because when they die, they add nutrients to the soil. But I'll go with this. It improves the structure of the soil because it loosens up the soil, allowing for porosity and aeration. Question 14 now. The type of rocks formed from the molten magma is known as what? Type of rock formed from molten magma. This one you have been taught a lot in geography, so I won't dwell on it. But that's the word, the igneous rock. Question 15. The relationship between the microorganism and plants in the nitrogen cycle is best described as. The relationship between the microorganisms and plants in the nitrogen cycle is best described as we have parasitism, that is one feeding on one. You have commensalism, you have competition, you have symbiosis. It's a symbiotic relationship between the microorganism and plants in the nitrogen cycle. It's symbiotic relationship. And then 16, the type of energy obtained from the sun for agricultural use is known as what? Chorus answer. So what is the solar energy? The sun produces the solar energy. So that's the energy we get from the sun. 17. Which of the following implements will be used for the next farm operation after clearing a new farmland? Okay, so you have clearing a new farmland. After you have cleared the farmland, what's the next thing? The next thing is to harrow the farmland. What are you harrowing the farmland for? To break down the topsoil so that you can loosen the soil. Especially if you want to make bed, or you want to make ridge, you want to plant vegetable or yam, you have to break the soil. That's called harrowing. Okay, so after you have done harrowing, you now do your ridging. You now make your ridges. So after you have made your ridges, you now begin to plant, right? So after clearing the farm, the next is to harrow the farm portion or the farmland portion. Question 18. Which of the following cannot be used to rub the metal parts of farm tools before you store them? So you are done using the farm tools. Which of these would you not use to rub the farm tools before store them? You have grease, palm oil, water, definitely water. Why? Why won't you use water? Because water causes rusting. So you don't rub with water. In fact, you want to dry them off any kind of moisture or water so that they don't get rusted. So you can use grease or oil. 19. The common surveying equipment for farmland includes the following except. So which of these is not a survey equipment? This also should be a chorus answer. You have ranging pole, measuring tape, compass, gunter chain, spade. Spade is used to move earth material from one place to the other for the most of the time. So spade is not a measuring equipment or a survey equipment. And then question 20. An example of fungal disease of stored grain is dash. Okay, stored grains means grains that are stored in maybe like silos, in a bag. What kind of disease affect them? And those diseases, most of what will affect such kind of crops is mold. What's mold? That kind of whitish thing you see, okay, that often happen based on heat. It often happen based on heat, or if that area where you have stored the grain is kind of moisty, it can develop mold. It also happens to bread. Yeah. 21. A small plot of land where intensive cultivation is practiced to produce vegetable is generally referred to as what? Small plots. You have orchard, no. Plantation, no. Plantation is not to produce vegetables. You don't produce vegetables on a plantation. You have nursery, no. Nursery is to nurse seedlings. So you have garden, yes. Why are we taking garden? Because it's a small plot of land. Okay, like what you have at the back of your bungalow, where your mom does one or two. So that's a nursery, a garden rather. It's often to produce vegetables. Then question 22. Which of the following plants is not classified as forage grass? Okay. Which of the following plants is not classified as forage grass? You have giant star, guinea grass, elephant grass, gamba grass, stylo. So The correct option here will be the giant star. So the giant star is a forage. It's a forage. These other ones are under the classification of grasses. Are you still there? Question 23. The Plant a Tree campaign of the federal government of Nigeria is a way of encouraging forest dash. Okay, so do you know what this means? The federal government of Nigeria came up with a campaign recently, which is called Plant a Tree. All right, so and you saw it practiced in Lagos a few years ago, where there was trees within a particular square meter. They planted a tree within a particular square meter. They planted a tree. Why or what is its use? Is to encourage what? Forest work. Is it regulation? No. Exploration? No. Exploitation? No. Regeneration, to regenerate our forest. The government also, under that initiative or under that campaign of planting tree, was that those who broke down trees or cut down trees for timber purposes, they were mandated to plant another tree. Immediately they were felling the tree, they were mandated to plant another tree in its place. So it was an initiative by the federal government and well welcomed. Question 24. Which of the following is not a method of controlling pests? You want to control pests in a farmland. Which of the following is not one of the effective methods? Quarantine. Yeah, quarantine. To restrict an area so that it doesn't spread to the other area. It's definitely part of it. Crop rotation is, okay, this particular type of crops are susceptible to this kind of pest. So I have a new set of crops that are not susceptible to this kind of pest. So I rotate them. Works. This is part of it. Fumigation, using chemicals, pesticides to water or to, fumigate the farm. Works. Trapping works. The only one that doesn't work is mulching. Mulching is not a method of controlling pests. And then 25. The most effective method of controlling or preventing viral diseases in plants is what? Now, viral diseases, you cannot kill them. You cannot cure them. Okay? Yes, it's just like some viral diseases in humans. They cannot be killed. They cannot be cured. So, what is the most effective way of controlling or preventing viral spread, especially in plants? 1. Planting resistant variety, spraying the crops, burning affected crops, preventing crop rotation, practicing crop rotation rather, treating seed with chemical. No, the correct option there is option A, planting resistant varieties. So if you discover that, oh, this farmland is under the siege of this particular viral disease, it doesn't mean that that viral disease will affect all kind of crops. You just need to find out those crops that are resistant or that are less likely to be affected by those viral diseases and plant them on that farm, right? So the viral disease that is affecting this crop most likely will not affect another crop. That's simply how it works. So our farmers use it a lot. It's even way less expensive and most effective than treating or trying to evacuate or eradicate the viral disease from that plot of land. 26 as we round up. The major reason which necessitates the expansion of agriculture is the increase of, why do we need to expand agriculture practices? It's because we are increasing in population. We are increasing, so we need to produce more food. Remember, the agriculture is majorly food and the production of food. That's what agriculture is majorly about. Production of food and comfort amenities for man, raw material. So because we are increasing, this is the most important reason. Because we are increasing, so we need to ensure that our agriculture is also expanding. Then 27. Which of the following group of crops are mostly cultivated in the rainforest zone of Nigeria? Give me an example of rainforest zone. You're talking about Lagos, talking about Ogun State. These places that experience high or the highest amount of rainfall in Nigeria, the southwest zone specifically. Alright, so which of these crops are majorly planted here? Millet, yam, coconut, maize, cocoa, yam, cassava, sorghum, sweet potato and dates, wheat, Irish potato and groundnut. So it's B. okay? Maize, cocoyam, and cassava. As a matter of fact, you see maize in just about every farm. Okay, 28. In farm animals, gonads, gonads, this is the organ, and the organ is called gonad. Okay, there are organs associated with what? And these are the sex organs. These are the organs responsible for reproduction. Okay, not just farm animals, in human beings too. You have the gonad. Now, I want you to tell me in the comment section the reproductive organ under the gonads that are responsible for reproduction in male. What is it called? The one responsible for reproduction in female. What is it called? You can tell me in the comment section. Let me see how well you understand biological science. So, however, reproduction gonads. Right? Never forget it. And 29. Which of the following combination of farm inputs enhances the healthy growth of crops? You have tractor and cash. Yes, tractor enhances healthy growth of crops in mechanized farming. You have irrigation and fertilizer. I think this is the best option there. Work bull and implement cutlass and sacks. So that's irrigation. What's irrigation? Artificial watering of the farmland. Fertilizer. What's fertilizer? Manure. Artificial manure to boost the production for the fertility of the soil. So this would enhance the most among all these options, the growth of crops. And the last question, when farmers engage in both plant and animal husbandry, that farmer is practicing what type of farming? The correct option here would be what? You have late farming. This should be leaf farming, not late farming. You have mixed farming, mixed cropping, crop rotation. That's mixed farming. When the farmer is practicing both plant and animal husbandry, okay, on an area of land, is called mixed farming. So there you have it. So for part 2 of our most likely agricultural science objective questions. I hope you did enjoy it. If you have any questions for me, please ensure you use the comment section to reach out to me. And we have many hundreds of these questions on our apps. You can find the link to download them in the description of this video. Join the conversation going on Telegram. You can see the link to join us in the description also of this video. I will see you in another video. Bye. Make sure you are subscribed.
Hi, I'm sure you enjoyed the content you just watched. To see more episodes as that, preparing you for your oncoming exams, smash the subscribe button on this channel right now and visit the playlist that we've made for you, covering over 50 type of different exams, including JAMB, WAEC, Cacao,